What's happening, everybody? This is Hagar doing a mod review for my boy Diego in our Alliance Guild. My Wookiee stake is Chewy. And with me today as a special guest is Ljcool110 from gaming-fans.com. Say hello, LJ.
Hello.
Oh, let's get started. Diego wanted me to look at his arena team and also his P4 hat team, which is also resistance. So this shouldn't take too long, and I hope we can help out Diego today. Let's start at the top. Looks like Diego's not doing too bad. He had a wedge team in there, and he moved over to Ray. He got Ray on Ray Day, and he's been moving up. Okay, let's see if we can't help Diego get a #1 victory today. So, let's start with his Ray. He went with very good crit damage and crit chance set with a total of 239 speed. What do you think, LJ?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's a nice plus 20 and a plus 17 here with offense on the plus 17 down there with the plus for the cross mod. 13 on the diamond. Yeah, he's done pretty darn well off the speed on these. I can see why he chose the crit damage as a 4 dot. Now that I see 8 speed on it, those so hard to get good speed on it. I mean, heck, a 3 is good on a crit damage triangle. So yeah, it looks pretty solid.
What do you think of this health here? Health on the circle?
It's not my preference, but he got 11 speed, so I think that's why he chose that
11 speed.
So
if you can go higher, if you can go higher speed with the protection.
5.88% off of a 5 dot, and then of course 23.5% protection off of a 5 dot. If it's got protection, that I might sacrifice a little speed for more survivability on that
one. Yep, that would be my only thing that I would change on this build.
I like the critical chance of 56% because then you get with her as the leader. I think it's like a 30% bonus. So
it's 30.
Yeah, that puts you at 86%, and of course, you get the exposed then from the critical hits and gain turn meter from that. Yeah, you can spam the turn meter all day with that.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, let's move on. We are looking at Commander Luke. CLS, we got a crit damage set and a potency set. Let's see, with a total speed of 232. If we can get that just a little higher. I know we're talking, now we're getting picky because overall it's actually a really good build, but if I could, I might want to do something with if we could get higher speed on that, that would be great. On mine, I have a potency plus primary here, but it was crit damage and it has 14 speed, very good speed. I think I would. I don't see a. What's that?
Another health, interesting.
Yeah.
He must just gotten some good speeds. I mean, he 11 on the last one, 8 on this one. Yeah, again, I'd rather have more protection there, and then either go maybe offense down on the cross mod instead, or even defense potentially. If he can get the speed. Again, the hard part is a lot of times you get these double digit or close to it speeds. You go with what you got. I will say one thing: that defense mod he has in the diamond there on the left in the middle. That is one of the hardest mods to find high speed for me on my personal account.
Okay.
Anywhere. Like that stinking potency diamond mod, trying to get 5 or 6 speeds hard, let alone 8 to 10 or higher. So I saw that and I kind of chuckled to myself right away as soon as I saw it.
Oh, hitting a nerve with you, huh? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
I haven't noticed particularly like which slot with the left side or right side is hard or difficult, but we'll go through and we'll sort through all of his mods by speed at the end, and we'll see where the secondary speed or speed secondary outliers lie. If I'm repeating myself, if we can find something that might be able to replace this.
And earlier you said something about being picky. I think that's kind of what Diego wants us to do here. So
okay.
If I'm getting ultra picky, that the arrow up in the top right, yes, it's 30 speed, but it's not a great mod. It's 5 defense, 35 offense, 0.91% health, none of those are really great numbers. It's one of those ones where if you can get a better 30 speed in that spot, that's where, if the nitpicking part is going to kick in, that's a good place for it to kick in.
I'd say the protection and the offense combined by themselves, not so good. If it's like because they're both on the same mod, I would say that's a good mod in my book.
Okay.
R2D2. We are looking at all potency. Balls to the walls potency here, folks. This sticks out. Look at that offense. Holy cow.
With speed on it, too.
With protection. With over 1,000 protection. Dang.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And to have speed on one that has that much protection, usually you find those and it has nothing else with it. That's good.
R2 is not a heavy hitter, but in this case, I'm going to let it fly because the protection, the offensive protection, primary protection, secondary, speed. Let's do it. We got a total of 235. I would like to see that a bit higher. I read a speed set on mine, so mine's naturally higher. Oh, what am I running?
I'm in the same boat as you on that.
Yeah, mine's 261. I first started running R2 with a Zeta Qui-Gon Jinn, so I put a speed set on him so we could keep up with the Jedis. We could get that smoke off pretty early. But potency. What is the total potency? 68.5.
Wow.
That's good.
He doesn't have it down in the cross mod down in the bottom right. So that's part of the reason why you have it on from the bonuses on the others. Looking at what was it, the critical chance at 24%. A little low. If you're running under a Ray lead, you get the 30% bonus. However, one of the things that the adjustment that has come from the resistance with Ray as the lead is that need for more critical chance from all of them, just because you get the turn meter off the exposed. So that's one thing I would look at that. And then that speed, I would try and see if you can run a speed set, like you said. If you can get up around 255, 260, I think you're in a better spot, even if it means you sacrifice other stats.
I'm looking at mine real quickly. Total speed 261. That's a 104 increase. And my potency is 67. So I would say go with a speed set, maybe a potency for the offset, and a potency plus on there. As it is, it's not bad, but we could get a little more speed out of that.
Yeah, and I think that the square up in the top left, again, he has a 12 on a secondary, and the main reason I think he's using a 4 dot is simply because of the fact he's getting 12 speed. And,
absolutely.
Do you want to go 7 speed on a 5 dot to get that other 1.88% offense? I'd probably say no. So that's probably the best bet for him. Obviously, if you get a better potency one that's really close to speed, you'd use it there. But if you end up switching to speed, that's going to benefit you more.
I think so. I agree. Let's look at BB-8. Total speed of 232. We've got 5, 7, 7, 3, 9, and 30 arrow. I'd like to see more here. Even with the 30, I really can only compare to mine. I can switch over. I've got 260 with a plus 98 set, and it's a speed set.
I would look at the two that really stick out to me are the diamond there with the 8% defense. Yes, it's 7% speed or plus 7 speed, but I mean to go up 3.75% defense to a 5 dot, that's a pretty significant increase. And then that bottom right, the cross, it's only a 3 speed on the secondary. If you can get anything with speed or on a 5 dot, I think you're going to be more beneficial there to go with that. I'm looking at mine. Let me switch over to BB-8.
I've got mine protection
I do a
primary.
better job on my personal account than I do on my dev QA accounts in terms of making sure my mods are right, because QA accounts mostly for testing out mods on characters that are brand new and whatnot. So to get a chance to look at the ones I really want to emulate would be off my account. I have 0.588 offense percent off the speed, but with an 8 speed secondary on mine down there. I think anything you can get with speed is going to be beneficial. I don't really care if it's offense or defense. If you can get a lot of speed out of that, I wouldn't think you would need the potency or the tenacity, so I would probably go with those. Health would be another good one, obviously, if you can get better speed, but I really want a 5-dot down there.
Yeah, I went with protection on 8 speed. Okay. What do you think of the potency set? Does BB-8 need potency?
I don't think he does, if I recall. I mean, I know the tenacity down off the basic, but I think that's. Let me check at the exact language. These are one of those. This is like who was this? Mace Windu's. I think it was his unique, the shatter points, if I'm not mistaken. I was reading through that. I was really struggling with, do you need potency for these? And the answer was no on Mace Windu. I actually posted that one yesterday on gaming-fans.com. And there's certain ones where it's written in such a way that it looks like it's potency because it puts a negative stats effect. But because of the way it's worded, you don't actually need it. So in this one, Arc Welder, the basic, deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict tenacity down for 2 turns. If the target already had tenacity down, inflict daze for 2 turns. So, I mean, it's straight up, it inflicts it. It's not, you have a chance to inflict it. It's not, there's no language to say otherwise. And from watching gameplay, yes, I believe it can be resisted at times. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, it inflicts target, tenacity down. So, as a result, you don't really need the potency. So he's got a ton of potency. Look at that square up in the top left with 7.12% potency. Holy smokes.
Ooh, put that on B2 or Poe or any
even
any
R2
Sith,
if you
R2 or any Sith or Empire character.
Yeah. Again, 4 dots, on that defense mod. Yeah, or on that, sorry, it's a potency mod with defense on it. And I think I already mentioned that.
Yeah, I tried to switch over to my game so I could see, so the YouTube audience could see the ability, but it didn't work so well. So YouTube audience, that's why you saw a white screen momentarily.
I think that both the diamond, or not the diamond, the triangle and the square, I think I would move those both to R2 and put a speed set on R2. And because they're both, I mean, that's a 10.5% potency upgrade between the two and their speed mods with speed secondaries. I think I'd be more inclined to put those on R2 because I think the stats would be better used. More so than anything because with R2 on, I think it's Number Crunch, then you also get a 10% boost off of his stats. So just adding that potency, if you run him with any type of team, like you put like Resistance Trooper on his team, Resistance Trooper already has on a basic a chance to land exposed, which is going to help under a Rey Jedi training lead, or the exposed would help both from his basic, and it also helps from a critical chance. So, having that extra potency can help out in a lot of different ways, and it's going to be more beneficial on R2 than it would BB-8.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's move on. To round out his arena team, he's got Mr. Thrawn here.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. I recently geared him up a couple months ago, and he's proven his worth. He's earning his keep here. With a total speed of 239, we have, similar to Ray J, a crit damage set and a crit chance set. Look at a big fat 14, a 9, 14, 14, 8, 30. I know he has a rather low starting speed rather. So to see him 239 is interesting. It's rather impressive. What do you think?
It's solid. Again, you got a diamond there with 8% defense as opposed to 11.75%. But again, you can see why it's with the speed. I'm looking through. I love that square mod, that 14 speed with the critical chance and the defense. That's nice. Okay, so he's got the protection mod down there with the 2x with that critical chance plus 14 speed. That's a fantastic one. Bottom right, that critical damage with protection. Not loving that one. I have a speed set with critical chance on my Thrawn. The main reason I have critical chance is the mods are too stinking good to not use. And actually, I think that's on Commander Luke. I have the same thing. I have some really, really good critical chance mods. I think I would run a speed set on him. And when the fracture's running, he goes down to 50% of his current speed. And you want him slow then. I think that the initial out of the gate, getting him to land fracture can be so stinking valuable
Absolutely.
that you want him as fast as possible. I would prefer like R2 and then Thrawn, something like that. If you can get your Thrawn to run before their R2 when you're facing the team, man, I'll tell you what, that can be so stinking valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're just fracturing a Kenobi with foresight, which isn't terrible. But if you can get him to run before their R2, assuming you're facing a team with R2, that helps. I find Thrawn to be very valuable against the Night Sisters as well.
That's good to mention that. Yep.
He really helps out on those teams. But
Absolutely.
yeah, he might be my favorite character in the entire game.
Mine's Lando, if you can imagine. I just love the constant AoE, the big fat AoEs every turn. I love it.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the matter at hand. I think we're good. Would you make any? I guess we already went over the changes. Yeah. Okay. Speed sets. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Scavenger Ray. Oh, he uses Ray Jedi Training, R2, BB-8, Ray Jedi or Scavenger Ray, and Resistance Trooper for his P4 hat team that he wanted us to look at. So we have some overlap here, and we have a all crit chance with a 227 top speed. A good crit chance at 58, almost 59. So I'm looking at 9 speed on the 9 speed, 12 speed, 9 speed, 3 speed on the plus, no speed on the triangle, 30 speed on the arrow with a 58% physical crit chance. I'm thinking, especially under a Ray Jedi training lead, we could do without. We could scale back the crit chance. What do you think?
Yeah, if you can get a little more crit damage out of that, maybe do a crit damage set with it, and then get one that has a really nice crit chance secondary, to make up for some of that 5% you'll lose, or I believe it might actually be 10%. It's 2.5% for a set, and then 5 is. Hang on, now I'm getting all confused on my stats. It's 2.5% critical chance for having a set bonus, and 5% for a max set. So if you take off 4 critical chance mods, all max, it'd be 10% off, taking you down to 48%. Yeah, if you can get some good crit chance secondaries, you can still be above 50%. That tenacity cross down at the bottom, I think the main reason he's got that is you've got a little bit of speed, a little bit of critical chance, a ton of tenacity, which does help because you don't want any debuffs on her because she hits a lot harder if she doesn't have debuffs.
That's right.
And then to have that 101 offense, there are a very rare number of mods that have 100 offense. That can be huge.
Yeah, especially on her, dadgum.
I see what he's thinking. I definitely see what he's thinking. I do like the critical chance because she has no natural way to land and expose. So now all of her expose under her RJT lead is going to come from that crit chance, which, 88%, you're landing, 8 out of 9 times. And expose, which then gains 10%.
Is it 70% chance on crit to land expose?
Oh, I'd have to look at the exact language again.
It is 70% chance on crit to expose. So 70% of 80 is about. It's about what, 50%? 70% of 80% is about 50-ish, 56. But yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
I see the language now.
Yeah, a crit damage set would be nice, and keeping up the speed.
And in fairness, that triangle had some really nice stats. There just wasn't any speed.
Yeah.
So that's one of the most challenging things is you get a really good gold mod, level 1, has some nice stats, and then there's no speed. And that's 3% defense is really nice. 45 offense is just icing on the cake, and that protection, especially with a squishy character like Ray Scavenger is. So.
Even still, 16, almost 17,000 protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we forgot to mention R2 adds 10% crit chance for is it every ally or all light side allies?
I think it's resistance. I think it's not every light side, I don't think, but it's like resistance and rebels. Maybe it is light side.
Let's find out.
It all just blends together.
All allies. All allies gain 10% critical chance and 10% 10% accuracy. There you go. Answers that question. Okay. Mr. Resistance Trooper. Looking at a 206 top speed and all crit chance. Probably going with the same concept that Ray Scavenger did
Yeah.
with the
So
62.
I'm assuming he had a lot of potency before Ray Jedi Training came out, and then he changed the mods up after the fact to be much more crit chance. In which, if that is indeed what he did, kudos to Diego for understanding the game that well. I've found that most people do not read that much, care that much, try that hard, but they want the results. So obviously he's put in some research. He understands the stats, and like I said, kudos to him for that, because I mean, in fairness, that's a lot of what my site thrives on, are people not understanding things wonderfully, so they come to the site for advice, and I try and lay it out in a little bit more of a basic term. Try to.
What do you think of this pure crit chance strategy as opposed to the combined crit chance plus his naturally occurring exposed from his basic strategy?
I would go more potency, just that's my preference. I would sacrifice a bit of that crit chance for it, but I wouldn't sacrifice a ton of it. So
I want to lean that way too.
Yeah. I don't like 19%. That just seems so stinking low.
It really does.
I haven't even adjusted my resistance trooper that much, but and in fairness, if I remember correctly, here, let me pull him up real fast.
You're looking at R2? 10% max protection for each droid ally, 10% potency for each resistance ally. So if he's in a full resistance crew, does that mean 50% potency?
Oh wow. Well,
am I reading that correctly?
Let me go read that over again.
R2's number crunch.
All right, let me see this here real fast. At the start of the battle, R2 gains 10% max protection.
That's bottom.
Max health for each rebel, and 10% potency for each resistance ally. So if he's got 4 resistance allies, that'd be 40% more potency.
Or is it 10% to each of all of the allies?
Yeah,
which it does say for each ally. I mean, yeah,
I believe that's how it's supposed to be. I mean, if it's working as intended, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it's multiplicative.
These are the details that make this game awesome and so challenging at the same point. Is you have to, like, all those mod reviews we write, and even the Zeta reviews, you have to go through and really break it down, because sometimes, one of the things I always love about sports is they always talk about the eyeball test. Okay, some teams really good on paper, but you have to watch them. You watch and see how Alabama's better than so many others. A lot of times the eyeball test. A lot of this is the eyeball test, and the eyeball test is easy to avoid in this game. You don't actually see the stats come out with R2's, with his number crunch. A lot of times it's a Zeta that once you put it on there, it's hard to physically see a huge difference. But does it benefit? Yes, it benefits your team greatly. So, yeah, that's one of the ones you just really have to dig into and fully to read it over multiple times to fully understand. Now, it looks like
he does have the Zeta on number crunch, by the way.
Yeah, but he doesn't have on Improvise a Omega. Nope, right, that's an Omega on Improvise on R2, correct?
Right.
Huh, that's interesting. Well, I would put one on that for sure.
Yeah.
You get a cooldown and the burning duration goes up. So, yeah, you get more a -1 cooldown. So,
anyway.
I bet you he puts up some big numbers with this crew. If I remember correctly from having my alt in his guild for a while when they were first speeding Hat, that he was putting up some big numbers under Zeta Finn. So I'm guessing that this team's doing some pretty big numbers. He's got some nice speed secondaries across the board here. But yeah, I would still, even with some of those numbers from R2, I would bring up Resistance Troopers potency at least a little bit. Maybe just 1 potency set on that, or find a crit chance where you're, as long as you don't lose any more speed, where you're at least, getting a set in there that's got more potency on secondary.
I agree. All right, let's dig in and see what kind of mods we can find. I've already pulled up his speed secondaries. High speed secondaries in all of Diego's roster. I covet this 20 speed.
Fuck. Yeah.
My highest is 17, or maybe 118, 117, and then it just goes down from there. Yeah. I saw this earlier.
Yeah, that sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't it?
Clone Wars Chewie. I
I,
was looking at him. You could tell that he just like threw it on there just so it would show up on the site. uh, yeah, this needs to go somewhere.
yeah, that does. I'm sure somebody can use it. Yeah, I see what he's done there. He's probably didn't have enough credits to level all those up, so he just throws the mods on there so they'll show up on the site and
Mm-hmm.
make sure everyone has mods. But yeah, it's tenacity too, so that's tough. I mean, I would think Scavenger Ray might be a candidate for something like that, but again, we were even talking with her. She's all crit chance. I mean, you could take off the tenacity plus that she had, or the cross. I always say plus, but there's so many other ways plus can be used that can confuse people. So the cross mod on Scavenger Ray could be there. Yeah, General Kenobi's a good one.
Yeah.
He's not. Yeah, he's not 7 stars yet because they just started beating the heroic AAT right before Territory Battles came out,
Okay.
because that was quite a bit of work getting those guys ready. But man, they've excelled.
It's 3 months to get them unlocked. Another 3 months to get them 7 stars. So.
Yeah, I don't think I ever broke it down to how long it takes, but I can tell you that it's having built 2 guilds now to the point where they were able to fight heroic. It's a challenge, but it's very rewarding. Actually, it was literally a year ago right now. I think it was January 3rd last year that we tried our first heroic in the guild that you and I are in now.
Yeah.
And we failed in phase 2. We hit that wall with those droid teams.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have enough to power in phase 2, and so then we tried again with some mercenaries. I think 2 guys helped us get through it. Literally a month later, I want to say it was the 2nd or 3rd of February, almost like a month to the day. And then since then, it's been no stopping us since then. So
it was not long after that. I would think it was your 2nd or 3rd clear that I joined.
Okay. And I just remember you hit me up on Twitter, and then the next thing I know, you and I believe Night Owl both came over pretty quickly.
Yeah. What else do we see? Look at this Biggs. I wonder what he uses Biggs for.
I'm guessing that used to be his phase 4 team, maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe he uses them phase 2, but I like that they're both 5-dot mods on guys who have ships that are commonly used. At the same time, if he's not using those 2 characters that much, I mean, where's Ray Scavenger? He had all those critical chance on Ray Scavenger. He could put that one from Wedge on her. I mean, yeah, there's another a 4-dot below that for Wedge with 14 speed. He's got a lot of really good speed secondary 4-dot mods. I'm wondering if he bought some of the mod packs to get those. Because I find you get some really good speed secondary 4-dot mods from the mod packs as opposed to getting them through farming mods, through Cantina or not Cantina, but through the. I always want to get the names right. I don't want to sound like an idiot and say the wrong
mod
name.
store.
The mod challenges.
Mod challenges. Oh, yeah. 195 speed on Wedge.
What's fast?
Yeah. What's his Biggs?
I was gonna say I usually like Biggs faster because he's the one who calls the ally to assist 185.
Yeah.
I like Biggs faster personally because he's the one who calls Wedge to assist, so therefore it basically gets Wedge extra attacks too. So I tend to have him a little bit faster. That's my preference. Again, I mean everybody has. It's the beauty of mods. I'm never wrong on anything I write unless I'm blatantly stupid on something, because it's preference more than anything. Yep. I'm just giving you, ways, and I don't do all of our mod reviews, but 80% of them probably. He has a weird combo on Biggs. Look at that. He's got an offense mod, 4 crit damage, and a health. So that's just purely because he wanted the speed secondaries.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that.
Yeah. I'm too OCD to do that myself. I would sacrifice speed just to make sure the sets are there, but I can see why he did it, so it's logical.
This guild has IPD unlocked. We don't even have IPD unlocked.
How do you get him? Money.
Maybe Wookiee Steak is a bunch of Empire lovers.
Yeah, he has a couple guys over there. It's like our new guy, Tychus or whatever his name is. It's in our guild now. I think he's got a 7-star Imperial probe droid. Someone was saying earlier today. I don't know, man. That's a lot of money. Of course, I did that with Nihilus. I can't complain. Hey, I'm glad to see my friends doing that.
I got lucky, got him in the shard shop. My Nihilus is 7-star.
Oh.
All right, what else do we see? Anything you want to search for?
I've seen some good speeds on Poe. That's smart. Although Poe's value, again, with the way the game's gone with RJT is changed a bit. Yeah, highly potent, very fast Poe. That works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Z-Fin still works, just same as it always did.
It does. I'll tell you what, I've never lost a territory battle round. I've never lost a single round with a resistance team.
Nice.
So it's like, I hate to break it. I'm looking forward to getting 2 or 3 more resistance characters so I can run 2 resistance teams.
Right.
Do one on Zeta Finn, one on Zeta RJT, and then, I feel like that's going to be that's the next challenge I'm looking forward to. Interestingly enough, I got an email from, I shouldn't say too much. There's Game Changers information coming out soon.
Okay, that's all you need to say.
That's all I'm going to say.
LJ, YouTube audience, LJ is, go ahead, sorry.
This month, so, soon doesn't mean tomorrow, so don't read into it too much, people.
Okay, later in the month, okay.
Yeah.
So yes, LJ is a game changer, along with Warrior and Arnold and Mobile Gamer and the like. So he gets some tidbits that I always want him to leak, but he never does.
Yeah, I'm not allowed. I don't want to lose my status. I like it too much. And in fairness, what would it be? It wouldn't benefit me to leak anything out. We all gain traffic and notoriety and attention specifically from having content before others.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I leak that out, then I'm kind of dumb. So as you can see, we've got some Force Arena content. We've been really ramping up the Force Arena content. Down below, you got the best mods from Mace Windu.
Mm-hmm.
He's just one of the 20 or so of the 138 characters that I didn't have a mods guide for yet. So I got that one up at the request of one of our readers. Okay. And then, we've been a little slower on the Galaxy Heroes content over the last couple of weeks, but like I said, there's some content, and this month I'm sure will be worthy of more attention. I'll just leave it at that. And then we're going to continue to ramp it up with a couple of other games as well. So we're going to try and see if we can add a little bit more around Marvel games and the Harry Potter game when it comes out later this year as well.
Okay. YouTube audience, if there is a character that you would like to look up a mod guide for, it is very easy. Just go to gaming-fans.com. Up here in the corner, Star Wars GOH. Put your mouse on that. The very first one under that is mods. And if you scroll down, I can actually make this a little bigger for you.
Yep, I like that. You're zooming in on that T-24.com ad that was up there. That's our premium sponsor. I just actually talked to the owners earlier today. They make some really cool Star Wars themed T-shirts as well as Marvel and Harry Potter themed T-shirts. So as you can kind of see, the gaming games that we're looking to expand into also help our sponsors. So
the ones in blue here are the ones that have mod guides for them already.
Right.
You're liking an ETH Koth guide, man. I need my ETH.
I used to have the word worthless beside his name, but I decided to remove it. So yeah, there's a few we still don't have them on there. Like I remember Coruscant Underworld Police was just kind of a joke, but he actually, if you break down his kit, has some. If you put the right mods on him, can be. It can help his stats. It doesn't mean he's good. But
he looks good on paper. He looks good on paper. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he has a fun kit that, in terms of looking at it from a mod's perspective. Some of them, like BB-8 or Jyn Erso and Mace Windu, are just like you can rack your brain over it sometimes on some of these and how they do it. So luckily, I have a couple of buddies who help me out on that stuff. You can see in the top right corner there where it says English. We now have an app that is set up on the site itself, or a plugin actually, where you can tell us what language you want to read the site in and go, and it automatically translates everything for you. Now, it's not perfect, but I've heard some of the languages are actually pretty stinking good on the translations.
Cool.
So that's one of the things I'm hoping that will catch on over time is, we can get a little more search engine traffic from, other non-native English speakers.
Awesome. Anything else you want to plug before we go?
If it's an early level player, that SWGOH 101 section, we have one of our senior writers runs this entire thing. I mean, if you're one of those people who's just starting something up and just wants to do it as efficiently and as just really prove how smart you are, reading something like this, I'll tell you what, man, this would help me out a lot. That 7-star Cad Bane I had that was like gear 7 early on, like I'm almost a first day player. So when I had that 7-star Cad Bane, I was throwing all those resources into him. I wish I'd have read this instead.
A nice TLDR character farm list.
Yeah, I had to learn
yeah.
what a TLDR was from her, from our writer, who Keiko does a great job with this. It's good because it challenges me to get better too, and that's always a good thing.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up with that. On behalf of Ljcool110 and I am Hagar. I'll see you next time.